The McRib is disgusting, but a lot of people love it. This barbecue-flavored pork sandwich, consisting of a restructured boneless pork patty, is the most controversial McDonald's item of all time. And unlike the McLobster or the McHotdog, the McRib is here to stay. Sort of. McRib is a seasonal item for McDonald's. About once a year, around fall, this elusive sandwich comes out and is available for a limited time. People lose their minds and put their life on hold when they hear McRib is back. It's been described as a cult, a loyal, fanatical, but small fan base, often referred to as the cult of McRib. Every time McDonald's re-releases this limited time sandwich, they shove it down your throat that this could be your last chance to try it. The worst part about loving McRib is you never know when it's going to come out again. Sometimes it's September or October or even November, and in rare cases, December. But why? If the McRib is such a moneymaker for McDonald's, my question is, why don't they set an exact release date every year? Like, every October 1st, they could bring it back for a whole month. They'd satisfy all the rib heads out there and line their pockets. Yet for some reason, they can't or won't do that. And that makes no sense to me. So I started asking myself questions like, why did McDonald's create McRib in the first place? And why is its availability inconsistent at best? Is this just an example of great marketing, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? The reason McRib exists is because of the McNugget. If it weren't for the bell, the bow tie, the ball, and the boot, there would be no McRib. Renee Arend, McDonald's first executive chef, created the Chicken McNuggets recipe in 1979. Using ground-up chicken mash and a flash freezing technique, Arend invented a product that would revolutionize the fast food world. 2 years later, in 1981, McDonald's began testing McNuggets in select markets around the country, and they were a hit. But right off the bat, they ran into some issues. The McNuggets were so well received that every franchise wanted them, said Arend in a 2009 interview. There wasn't a system to supply enough chicken. It would take McDonald's over 2 years to solve this chicken supply issue, but in the meantime, they needed a new product for the franchises who couldn't get McNuggets, and they needed it as soon as possible. This unforeseen issue backed McDonald's into a corner. It forced them to create the McRib. Well, I mean, they didn't have to make a rib sandwich per se, but they did. So they hit up Chef Renee Arend and asked, "Hey man, you think you can whip up another product for us?" And he said, "Yeah, how about a fake rack of ribs made of restructured pork meat?" Now at face value, this sounds like an awful, gross idea, but given Arend's success of creating the McNugget, combined with McDonald's precarious position, they gave him the green light. McRib made its debut in the United States in 1981. It was first added to menus around Kansas City. Inspired by the pulled pork sandwiches he ate in Charleston, South Carolina, Arend created the first restructured pork patty in the shape of ribs, complete with fake bones and served on a 5.5-inch bread roll. Even though it would have been cheaper to manufacture a round patty and serve it on standard hamburger buns, Arend was stubborn on his vision. By February 1982, McRib was available nationwide, and sales figures and customer feedback began rolling in. It's important to note that McRib, at the time, was one of the fastest new product introductions in McDonald's history. They were so keen to alleviate the McNugget issue that they released a product that, according to this article from 1983, was still in the testing phase. Overall, McRib received a lukewarm response from customers, and sales figures were significantly lower than expected.
If there is a God, he's not paying attention, because he let this slide under his radar.
1 year after its release, McRib began disappearing from McDonald's menus, and by 1985, executives agreed to remove it from the menu completely. From an outside perspective, this seems like a giant flop, but this is just the beginning of McRib's history. After removing McRib from the menu, McDonald's discovered the sandwich had gained a cult-like following after a passionate sect of customers began clamoring for its return. McDonald's heard their cries, and almost as soon as it left the menu, McRib began returning sporadically as a limited-time offer. And since then, the McRib has come and gone and come again, with its most recent sighting last year in November 2022. This time around, they called its return the McRib Farewell Tour and claimed that this really could be your last chance to try it. So returning to the beginning of the video, why doesn't McDonald's set an exact release date for McRib every year? I mean, why not treat it like the Shamrock Shake that comes out every March? Because McDonald's knows people want McRib, so why make it difficult for them? And that's where it gets interesting. Today, we're going to look at 3 different theories attempting to explain McRib's inconsistent availability. Theory number 1, more inventory equals less profit. In the fast food business, it's best to have as little inventory as possible. Take, for example, a restaurant like In-N-Out. Their menu is sparse and to the point. As long as they have ingredients to make burgers and fries, they're good. They don't have to worry about any special sauces, different types of buns, or putting toys in meals. The less inventory/overhead you have, the higher your chance of making a profit. And the McRib itself adds 3 specialized ingredients to their overhead: the pork meat, the bread roll, and the sauce. So if McDonald's made McRib a permanent addition to the menu, demand would inevitably decline, but the cost of the specialized ingredients would stay the same, meaning sales would flatline while expenses increase. However, that still doesn't explain why they can't deliver it at a consistent time every year. Theory number 2, marketing geniuses. This is by far the most popular and accepted reason for McRib's disappearances and returns. People always want what they can't have, and McDonald's figured this out early on. When McDonald's rips McRib off the menu, people instantly want it back and have to wait an indefinite amount of time for its return. McDonald's knows that every time they re-release the McRib, they'll see an immediate boost in traffic. Yet they also know that after that excitement wears off, they'll see a steep decline in sales. But still, even this doesn't explain why McDonald's refuses to offer McRib at a consistent time every year. Theory number 3, the McRib as arbitrage. I believe this theory, while just a theory, will provide us with the answer we've been searching for. On November 8th, 2011, The All released an article by Willie Staley titled "A Conspiracy of Hogs, the McRib as Arbitrage." Arbitrage is a risk-free way of making money by exploiting the difference between the price of a given good on 2 different markets. It's the proverbial free lunch you were told doesn't exist. Admittedly, what McDonald's is doing isn't risk-free, but at the same time, the risk factor is low. The central argument of the article boils down to this: McDonald's is essentially exploiting a market imbalance between what normal food producers are willing to pay for hog meat at certain times of the year and what Americans are willing to pay for it once it's processed. The idea is that McDonald's releases McRib when pork prices are as low as possible. In 2005 through 2010, you can see how once the graph starts dipping down, the McRib comes out, and then it goes away again. McDonald's wants people to feel excited about McRib and jump up and down when it returns. However, that would become impossible if they pulled back the curtain and admitted publicly, "Yeah, we only put this out when we can make money, and we don't actually care about you." That would ruin everything. So again, even if it is true, we'll never truly know. But what do you think? Why does McDonald's offer McRib for a limited time at inconsistent intervals? Do you think it has anything to do with pork prices, or is it something else? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching.